Welcome to the English Out Loud podcast, a podcast where I give you tips on how you can enhance your spoken English. My name is Pat, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. I live in Mexico, and I teach people the American accent. You know, people who are interested in understanding what kind of muscle memory exercises they can do to change just the way that they sound. And the way that I do this is I bring up basic phrases, and we focus on a particular sound in that, and we repeat it countless times. And then I send them off on their own, and, well, I can only hope that people continue doing this afterwards. And for the people who do want to continue practicing the things that they learn, today what I'm going to be talking about is a type of contraction. This is the contraction of the word will with a subject. You know, I and will. I will. If I'm talking, it sounds awkward if I say, I will do this tomorrow. I will go. I will help you. It's kind of like as if I'm really trying to convince you of something. When you say will like that, Americans understand it as though you're really trying to, convince them. I will be there. It's like, please believe me, I will be there. Sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes that's exactly how you want to sound. But other times, it sounds a little serious to people, and it may just lead to some miscommunication. Now, the trouble that I notice is that non-native English speakers often seem not to feel confident enough in their spoken English to make that kind of contraction. Well, I want to give you some tips because you're totally capable of doing it. Do you need to do it to speak English? No, you don't need to do it to speak English. This is a little additional thing you could add on to have a better control over how you sound, if you want that kind of thing for your English. So let's see, what do we do about these contractions? Well, when we're contracting a pronoun with the word will, we just drop the vowel from that pronoun and we add a dark L. So what we're going to do a handful of times here is repeat these. We're going to repeat a pronoun or sometimes even a noun. I'll show you a little bit about that. And we're going to take that and put it with the word will. This is going to help you speak a little more confidently when you're talking in the future tense. Which, hey, that's useful, right? You want to make sure you can do that just fine. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to give you some examples right here. We want to drop the vowel sound from any pronoun and use the dark L. And you may remember the dark L. Now, if you haven't listened to the dark L episode, that's the previous one, number 45. The dark L episode, I talk about the dark L sound, which is like, oh. In brief, you just stretch the back of your tongue towards your soft palate, and then the tip of the tongue towards the ridge just behind your teeth. Oh. And you want to be careful that your lips don't move, that you don't make an O with your lips. That's the real tricky thing for a lot of people. But what we're doing there, oh. So what we're going to do right here, check this out. Instead of saying, I will, or instead of saying, I'll, I say, I'll. Now, okay, that sounds a little awkward, doesn't it? I'll. But listen to this. I said I'll do it. I'll do it. It's real quick. And you can do that if you drop the vowel from the word. Then you don't have to stretch out any vowel sounds. Same thing with another one. Instead of you will, you'll. For example, you'll want to clean that up. You'll want to clean that up. Here's another one. Instead of saying it will, check this out. We make that T into a flap T. So not it will, but rather it'll. Hear that? It'll. We just add the dark L right after the T. This makes the T into a flap T, and we say it'll. It'll work. It'll work if we focus. It'll work. Now, she will. Instead of she will, we're going to say she'll. Oh, yeah, she'll love it. She'll love it. I'm not saying she'll, and I'm not saying she will. I'm saying she'll. She'll love it. Another one here, he will. He'll. We will. Will. Not saying wheel, like in a car, like your steering wheel. Not saying wheel. Making a dark L. And I'm dropping the vowel from the we to say a quick wool. And finally, they'll. Not they will, and not they'll. But I'm dropping that EY from the word they. I'm saying they'll. Check this out. They'll want to come, won't they? They'll want to come, won't they? And remember that negative before in the past, who knows how many episodes ago, I was talking about negative contractions like won't, don't. This is a similar kind of thing, right? For the same reason that you make those negative contractions, I can't make it. I can't make it. Instead of saying, I cannot make it. You hear how that it's a little choppier. I cannot make it. I can't make it. That's just because it helps it flow a little more. They will. It's a little choppy. They'll. Flows very nicely. Well, I got one other thing I want to point out with this. And it's that when we have a noun and we add the word will to a noun, we make this same kind of contraction. Oh. For example, I don't say, my friend will come. My friend will come too. Yeah, I think my friend will come too. Now, again, it sounds like I'm trying to convince people that I'm telling the truth. My friend will come too. It sounds a little desperate. My friend'll come too. Friend'll. You drop the W from will and you contract it to the word before it. My friend'll come too. With a dark L. With the dark L. You add the dark L to friend. Friend'll. Or, our shoes will get wet. Our shoes will get wet. I'm not saying shoes. And you may remember from the S and Z episode now, I'm making that Z in that S. Our shoes'll get wet. That's something that you want to consider when you're talking with people. If you say our shoes will get wet, it's like, again, you're trying to convince them. And they might say like, yeah, I believe you, our shoes will get wet. And you'll say, yeah, our shoes will get, it sounds too forced. Our shoes'll get wet. You hear how quick that is? Shoes will get wet. Are you going to be able to get this as quick as me right away? No. I've been doing this for 27 years. I've been repeating countless times every day. It doesn't take anything out of me. I don't need to focus. You may need to focus if English is not your first language. You may need to think about it, and you may need to force it. And I'm not saying it's going to take 27 years to sound like mine, but it sure won't take 15 minutes. It's going to take a little while. You're going to have to focus on it. You're going to have to listen for it in other people, in your friends, in movies, all these types of things. Just listen for it. And you will catch it. Now, you notice how I said that. I didn't say, and you'll catch it. That wouldn't be putting enough stress on it. In this case, I said, and you will catch it. I really stressed the word will. When you say will too much, that's how it sounds. It sounds like you're really trying to drive your point home, really trying to convince someone. Me, I am really trying to convince you that you will catch this, that this will work. Anyway, practice, listen, hear what other people are doing, and repeat, That's how you learn your first language, and that's how you can enhance your English, and it won't cost you a penny. It'll cost you, whatever, the cost of Netflix. Or if you got YouTube, There's this other websites, Youglish. Look on Youglish.com. You'll find lots of good stuff on there. Anyway, I'm going to give you a couple of sentences that I'd like you to repeat after me, and then we'll wrap this thing up for today. I hope you'll consider it for a while. Hear that? I hope you'll consider it for a while. And watch that word while. Has a dark L. I hope you'll consider it for a while. I know she'll call and we'll have to go. Ooh, there's a tough one, right? I know she'll call and we'll have to go. Here's a real tricky one here. You'll be a little uncomfortable, but it'll pay off. Ooh, that's a good one. Uncomfortable. Remember, I'm not saying uncomfortable. I'm saying uncomfortable. And I'm also not saying little, but little. With a flap T and a dark L. Little. And I'm not saying it will pay off. I'm saying it'll. But it'll pay off. And I'm linking those flap T's. But it'll pay off. Wow. All these previous episodes, they all come together when we look at the dark L. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice? This is how I like to have things set up. Anyway, I'll give you one or two idiomatic expressions. Why not? Why not? The first one here, time'll tell. This is a pretty common one. It's to say a truth will be made known in time. As time passes, something will become known. Time will tell if those people knew what they were doing. Time will tell. Here's another one here. You give an inch and they'll take a mile. You give an inch and they'll take a mile. This is to say, people take more than you're really inviting them to. You know, you ever meet people like that? They come over to your house and you tell them, yeah, you can sleep here. And then before you know it, they're wearing your socks and they're telling you, oh, hey, we're out of milk. And you got to go get some more milk. You give people an inch and they'll take a mile. Well, this brings me to wrapping this one up for today. Just keeping it short and sweet. We all got things to do, don't we? We all got things to do. I will make some longer episodes in the days to come. It's just these days, as I mentioned, I'm working on a video course. I'm putting everything together so that I can give you a video course about the stress of different T sounds. And it's going to be an effective one, and I'll show you where you can find it when I got it ready. So I got to keep this short so that I can dedicate more time today to the video course, because otherwise I'll be editing, and I got a handful of classes, another couple hours of classes left, and too much going on. So video course is coming, and I'll tell you when that's coming. Indeed. I hope you've taken some value out of this episode today. I enjoy teaching you. I enjoy giving you tips. I really do have fun doing this kind of stuff. It's a nice little hobby because I edit my own stuff. I'm starting to talk with some new people as well. Some other people who I'm going to collaborate with a little bit. You know, other podcasters. I'll tell you the name of this one podcast. I'll give these folks a shout out. There's one podcast called Accented. Accented is an interesting podcast. It's with an Australian lady, and she speaks with people from all over the world just so she can show different accents and say, hey, look, English isn't spoken in just one way. English is spoken in all different ways. And she shows all these accents. It's actually really cool. They have some fun conversations. Another, if you're into music, there's a podcast called Explained in English. Explained in English with this gentleman. He takes an English song. He discusses the lyrics. He talks about, how you could interpret it, what they mean. Honestly, music is a really good way to learn English. So, imagine this. You listen to an episode of his, and then you go and you listen to that song. Now, every single time that you listen to that song, you are practicing your English. So that guy's got a good gig. I like that one. Explained in English. That's another podcast you could find. And another one, this is with a British gentleman and an American lady. It's called Intrepid English Podcast. The Intrepid English Podcast. We're saying, all right, let's talk. Maybe we'll have someone on for an interview with one of these other podcasts. Maybe I'll go on their show. Who knows what we'll be working on together. But the fun thing is, you're going to get to watch. So I'll do all the hard work. Don't worry. You can enjoy. I'll tell you when I got that together. Anyway, I won't keep you all day. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your time. Spend time with your family and friends. And the sun's coming out. Sun is coming out. And it's not too late to work on your beach body, by the way. If you are someone who, you want to go to the beach in the summer, that's good. Go to the beach, get some sun. It's not too late. It's not too late. Start doing some push-ups. Go for a jog outside. July's only a few months away. This is what I'm telling myself this too, because I need to say it to you, because I'm not a hypocrite, and I've got to start doing it too. If I tell you I'm doing this, it means I've also got to start doing it, because I'm not going to just tell you things I'm not doing. That wouldn't be fair. That'd make me a liar. I'm not a liar. I wouldn't lead you wrong. Anyway, have a good one.